How to create SOPs for new employee training and onboarding. You know, SOPs, standard operating procedures. It's an old corporate word, but we'll talk about it a little bit different in a way that really speaks to business owners just like you. By the end of this video, you will have 2 powerful mindset shifts. You'll see our 3-step process for capturing SOPs or standard operating procedures, and you're going to create an employee onboarding process that's truly going to win them over so that they're excited to be here. Are you tired of being the only person in the business that seems like you know what's actually going on? You feel like you're just trapped in the, well, I'll just do it myself cycle over and over again, like you can't delegate this to anybody. The problem is your company's growth is trapped in that cycle, and we need to get you out of it. So there's 2 powerful mindset shifts that I want us to walk through. One is called the systems mindset, and the other is the 4 R's. Actually, the 4 R's is one of our 5 core values in our business. And it's really powerful. I'll get to that in just a minute. But let's start with the systems mindset. If you want to create these SOPs or standard operating procedures for these new employees that are training and onboarding, we've got to go into it with the systems mindset. What does that say? All right, you ready? Write this down. Whatever the next thing it is you're about to do, capture it like it's the last time you'll ever do it. So if you can go in and say, hey, I'm about to do bookkeeping, AR, AP, invoicing, payroll, I'm about to do an electrical walk, pull a permit, whatever it might be in your business. I want you to capture it. I use that word intentionally, by the way. I want you to capture it like it's the last time you ever do it. Well, how do we capture that thing? Well, there's multiple ways. The good news is you live in a technological age right now that is extraordinary for capturing ideas. Sometimes it's a little bit frustrating because everything seems to be being recorded right now. But if we want to willingly record things, there's ways that we can do that. Number 1, you can write it down on a scratch sheet of paper. That's the simplest way to be able to do it. And quite frankly, it's a way that's been around for thousands of years. So that's a pretty reliable way. Or you can actually use technology like cameras, like audio recordings. Now in the age of AI, you can use a variety of different tools to be able to capture what it is that you're doing. So the easiest way to do it, most of you have a phone with a camera on it. So the next time you do a thing, hit record. That's it. And as you do the thing, talk to us about how you're doing payroll or how you're doing this electrical walk or how you're doing this thing. And then take that video, put it in a file. Don't just kind of let it randomly go around. Put it in a file so that you can begin to track where those things are. And so if you use the systems mindset, the next thing you do, record it, capture it like it's the last time you'll ever do it. What about that 4R system? This is one of my favorites, and we actually just installed this into our business about 18 months ago as one of our 5 core values. It's a hallmark core value for us. And here's what it means. The first R, receive without distraction. So when you're in a meeting, are you doing this right here? Yeah. Man, I know you're not listening to me. The reality is you're not receiving because you're distracted. So the first R is receive without distraction. The second R is this idea of taking a pen, taking something, and recording. When I ask you to do something, I want to physically see you move. And so if we can develop these SOPs and we've committed to capturing this thing, and then we're living by the 4 Rs, now I can receive what's happening, I can record, I then go remind myself, that's the third R, and then it's my duty, because you've asked me to do something, to then report. So if we follow that to receive, record, remind, report, and we live within that systems mindset, and then we're going to capture everything that comes in, all of a sudden we are creating a system of radical training for our team because now we have the content. We don't need to go buy a bunch of books and go to a bunch of seminars and do all that stuff. Those things are great, but a lot of times they leave us motivated for a day. They're kind of like a Jolly Rancher, right? Put a Jolly Rancher in your mouth, you got a lot of sugar, you got a big hit, and then you want to go take a nap. Not a lot of caloric value, nutritional value, but the reality is it makes you feel good and it tastes good for just a small amount of time. We don't want to do that. We want to create things that are sustaining. Yeah, they taste good, but they sustain over a long period of time. All right, let's talk about the 3-step process to capturing an SOP or a standard operating procedure. Or in your business, you might just talk about them as processes. So it is the CPT process. It's capture, process it, train it. It's not good enough just to capture it. We then need to sort of process it out. Step 1, step 2, step 3, but it's not good enough just to process it. We actually need to proactively train on that thing as well. So let's start with the capture. Go back to that systems mindset. What is your method for capturing process? Go ahead and decide right now. Do you want to be in video? There's screen capture software, things like loom.com or Vimeo or whatever. We use these in our business every single day. Every day, and I'm not lying about that. I'm not using hyperbole. We capture these sorts of things. So you may have a team member that is working on a project. And you go, hey, give me an update. There are 2 team members in our business that I get Friday updates from on screen capture. So instead of us having to coordinate meeting times and all that other kind of stuff, I just say, hey, can you put it in a video, send it to me by Friday at noon. That way I can watch it when I'm ready to digest it, and I can respond to you, and you can watch that when you're ready to digest it. Not all communication needs to go that way, but things like weekly updates, process explanation videos, things like that can go that way. So there's screen capture software, there's using your phone, there's Google Docs, Word docs, but you've got to be committed to capturing whatever it is that you see. If it's happening in front of you, it is capture worthy. The second of our process is to place that thing. So I said earlier to process, so we capture, we process, and in the processing of that, we've got to place it somewhere. Where do we do that? Again, I want you to go back to a scratch sheet of paper. Pull out a napkin, pull out a pen, whatever. Get it in front of you. We are normal human beings. We're gonna act like normal human beings. And so on that, I want you to divvy up into 4 categories: marketing, sales, operations, administration, or accounting. Every single business, everyone, whether you're selling sport coats, ice cream, event services, videography services, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Every business has 4 major systems, what we call the 4 core: marketing, sales, operations, admin. So write those at the top, and then underneath, I want you to do a brain dump of every process that exists within marketing, for instance. Website, social media channels, lead magnets, outreach, whatever it might be. Then you go to your operational process. It could be the pre-design, it could be the permitting, electrical, whatever it might be. Go ahead and just put that down there. So we start to capture these processes, and then we map them out on the sheet that we call a master process roadmap. Now, in time, I want it off a scratch sheet of paper and actually on a spreadsheet. We don't need expensive software for this, just on a simple spreadsheet. And then the third element is we need to train on that. So we take that master process roadmap, and then we take 52 weeks of the year and just take one process, put it on week 1, 2 processes, week 2, third process, week 3, all across the year. And that way, every single week, I'll give you an example of this. We have a handbook as a business, and that handbook we actually broke down, and we've got a little Gantt chart-like calendar, like construction owners would use, a Gantt chart. And we go the weeks of the year across the top, we go the items that need to be trained down the left-hand column, and we just start to map that out over and over and over again. So in that training, we call that tool the anchor, by the way. So you've got all these ingredients down the left-hand side, the things you want to train on, and the weeks of the year across the top. Why? It's not a boat anchor. It's an anchor for climbing. So think about that pin at the top of the rock. What happens if that pin dislodges? All the ropes fall. And so that's what the anchor is, and we're making sure that we're training on that. So capture it, place it, train it. That CPT process for how to get those things from a systems mindset and a 4R recording methodology. All right, so go back to your master process roadmap. Remember those 4 columns, 4 core systems: marketing, sales, ops, admin. Here's an action item I think would be super helpful for you. If you could think from a mindset of your new employee and go back to those 4 core categories, and even though you might have a project manager who sits in the operations vertical, they will still have marketing responsibility to some degree. Well, how's that happen? Well, what about cleaning the job site? That's a marketing tool. It's not a construction tool. Yeah, it's safety to some degree, but cleaning a job site is marketing. Everything every team member does is marketing. In fact, in our vision, we actually have it written down that every team member at our business is a member of the marketing faculty. And you need to start thinking that way as well. So go through your master process roadmap and identify what are all the elements that I want this new team member to know, and that can start to fund your 4-week onboarding script. And by the way, I've got a great video on that you can look at with the 4-week onboarding script that'll help you be able to map that out for your new employee. All right, so you've walked through this. You've seen the CPT process. You've got the systems mindset, the 4R. You've thought through the master process roadmap, the anchor, these tools that are there so that you can empower your team to be able to do this. So take the next step. I've got an amazing video for you on how to train a new employee. You want to click on that link in the description below and follow it, and that can be your next action item. Don't stop here. Take action. My name's Scott Beebe. We do one thing, we do it really well, and that is liberating business owners just like you from chaos so that you can make time for the things that matter most.